Tell me about Penelope.
She's 3.5. Amazing. She's
Your daughter?
nonverbal. What?
She's your daughter, right?
Yeah. She's our first. She's awesome. Nonverbal, and she doesn't walk, but she scoots herself really well.
What I want to find out more about is your experience at the park. You and who went to the park?
So we just walked to the park and kind of just in La La Land, just not really thinking about anything, just strolling. We had dinner plans that night at North Pond in the city, and we're just trying to enjoy our first anniversary since having a baby with a lot of issues. And we get to the park, put her on a swing, and it's kind of foggy at this point how soon it happened, but a kid, we were already getting used to kids staring, but you don't really ever get used to it, but you learn how to handle it differently, and a kid, typical staring, but then start saying things that we hadn't heard before, like she's gross, she's disgusting. Still could have been kind of okay, but the mother didn't handle it. And
What do you mean the mother didn't handle it?
she first ignored it, and then I think when she first heard the kid actually saying it more and seeing that we were probably a little visibly upset, her way of handling it was saying, she looks like a baby, she smells like a baby, therefore she must be a baby. Which wasn't really the answer. We didn't know what we wanted to hear.
Literally said that?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
literally said
yeah.
it to us.
And we're like, okay, she's not a fake baby. Like, it hurt us even more. Bottom line of that story is, as a kid, you're always scared of adults. As an adult, you're not usually scared of anyone, for the most part. And here I am as an adult, scared of 7-year-olds. Literally, every time we go to a park, a mall, the street, the sidewalk, because they're the ones, the younger kids don't really know what to say. They might stare, but they don't say much, or they're too shy or too nervous.
Or they look to their parents.
Or they're too nervous. The older
Right.
kids are either smarter, keep it to themselves, or might just be nice. But 7-year-olds, whether they're nice or not nice, don't handle it right, which is okay, but usually there's a parental figure, an older brother or sister that can kind of help out with the situation by explaining or just by asking, which makes it a lot easier. So basically in a constant state of fear of going anywhere in public, because it was quite traumatic.
Okay. So let's fast forward here. What do you want for Penelope?
The last time we were together and we were discussing perhaps Penelope.
Perhaps. That went back and forth for I think a year. The maybe, perhaps, she would go to her home school for 1/2 day a week, is what we had decided at the end of last school year.
And
That was
now-
big. That
and
was
now
big
it's
for
what?
everybody in the district to agree upon.
She's full-time.
She's full-time at Willard.
Foley Main Street.
Tell me, what's it like? What's she like?
Okay, so I just have to tell you. So at the end of last school year, it was decided. So Willard and Park School came together, and everybody, this huge team of people, decided this would be the best way for her to be integrated. And then,
Were you scared about having that happen?
Terrified. I was.
Yeah, because the known is safer than the unknown, that's for sure.
I was like, I don't want to burn any bridges with the school board, with the school. We have 2 other daughters that will be going through the system. Plus, is it really good for Penelope? Is it just good for us? A lot of things. And I thought it was a major strain on the school and the budget for the district. Everything I was worried about. And then nicest part was when we had our one of our first meetings with Hardy Murphy, the superintendent. I did bring that up. And he said, you will not be taking 1 penny of resource from any program here. It will be new funds created for this, state, federal, whatever. But he's like, that's the last thing you need to worry about. Because I was scared that other parents
Would be upset.
other
yeah.
parents that maybe wanted new computers or new whatever at the school, and then they see us come in and getting an elevator put in after the fact of an addition, which was probably cost them twice as much money. A lot of resources were all of a sudden being pushed towards this. So it was also not just the district I was scared of. I was scared of how other families might perceive us, getting what we want or being unfairly benefited from this.
Yeah.
But none of that has happened. The school went from being completely, in a very short period of time, not only unprepared for something like this from an educational standpoint, but also a physical standpoint. Like, what's funny is their one handicap spot in front of the school is directly where the buses pick up and drop off. Like,
Right.
no one's ever challenged that before, you know. So it's like that doesn't make sense because they don't want her to park there when we have an actual handicap spot. But it's I mean, it's a learning experience for everybody. So it's even small things like that get changed.
Have you heard anything from parents at her other school? Like that, do they inquire with you how you're doing with it all, or is there not a lot of curiosity about it?
It's tough because we never, and I shouldn't speak for you on this one, but it's so segregated that you really don't get to know that many of the parents.
So you were not social friends of people?
Well, a lot of the parents, it's truly a drop off by a bus or a or a cab. They're bussed in or from somewhere else.
Right.
I never really got to know
I think there's still
that many parents.
I think there's still a lot of fear. I think they have a lot of fear. So really,
Can I tell you,
Yeah.
that's the thing I'm surprised about, I guess, particularly with you, Matt, saying how afraid you were for her to go. I thought, just my slim thinking would have been that you would have just been so enthused. Not that you wouldn't have some trepidation.
I had a ton of trepidation.
Yeah.
A ton. Which most parents probably do have.
Yeah, I guess so.
because they've never done it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was it's just completely fear of the unknown. And when you're coming from something that you're so safe
Yeah.
at her old school and you know it well and you drop them off and you know they're going to be taken care of and receive all their services.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. And then all of a sudden you're taking this huge leap and you have no clue how it's going to go.
So everything is a pleasant surprise.
Everything.
Unbelievably
I don't have a
so.
single piece
Never.
of even constructive criticism right now.
Far surpasses anything we thought possible for her.
Wow.
Ever.
What was the reputation of? What have you heard about the reputation of the Evanston schools? I mean,
Well, we always heard the same thing. You know, if you have a kid like Penelope, well,
Move
Matt's
to-
better. Glencoe's really good. You know, it's no one says Evanston unless a lot of people do like Park School, so that does grab some people. But the majority of the overall system is definitely you got to move to Wilmette, you got to move to Winnetka or Glencoe. That's what we hear.
For inclusion.
Yes. So
Yes.
basically, if you have a kiddo with severe and profound disabilities, like Penelope, your options are very limited. It's Park School, which the majority of those kiddos are in wheelchairs, right? Like they're non-ambulatory. So if you are in a wheelchair, you're definitely going to Park. Or your option for a more inclusive setting was King Lab, always. I think it's been going back like 30, 40 years. And they have the options program, which means
Okay.
you're in a home base, right? And then you can be included for different parts of your day, but never fully.
I see.
And so that was the extent of your options. So going to your home school was never
Okay.
an option.
What did drive this change?
Well, it starts up top.
Hardy Murphy.
Yeah. If he didn't want this or didn't want to push forward, this would not be happening. I don't believe.
No, I don't think so either.
When we were at Park, we gave our heart and soul to that place. I mean, it was my everything. I mean, I championed its cause. I mean, it was just such a huge part of my life. So to imagine leaving it, it was just crazy. Crazy. I did not ever think that we would move
Wouldn't
her
be
from
there.
there. No. No. I mean, you're talking to a couple that just pendulum swung in the complete opposite direction that I never thought we would do it. There was no reason to. You're safe. You're happy. You.
And do you think a big part of this good feeling and all is because your kids will be all in the same school? as little children. I mean, you know.
That's a big part, but that's not, I don't think, the biggest part. I mean, that's a huge,
It's the
that's a
community,
convenience. I think, yeah, now it's the community.
It's the community.
Mhm.
It's yeah, it's
People you
everybody
know
in
and
our
neighbors
neighborhood,
and,
on
yeah.
our streets.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot believe the story, truthfully. I thought I was going to hear lots of limitations.
0.
0.
And the principal has been overwhelming with his,
Oh, I have one story about Mr. Michael. So,
the principal.
sorry, the principal of
Yes.
Willard. And he is always in the hallways and he's very,
Present.
makes himself really present, like during the day.
Yeah.
And so he popped in. No, he was going in the hallway and she came by him. And everyone, good morning, Penelope. And I think she said good morning back to him.
I think
And
she
he
did too.
ran
Yeah, he took,
to Fran, to Miss Collins' classroom to say, oh my God, she just said good morning back to me. But
which is
let's,
interesting, because
let's
It really is.
give huge amounts of credit to Fran,
The teacher.
the teacher. She has done such beautiful disability awareness. I mean, awesome. So we had this idea that maybe I, at the beginning of the school year, should go in and give a little talk about, you know, this is Penelope and this is what she was like, no, I'm going to do it. It's like, okay. And she said, I talked to them about, she is a kid just like anyone else. And she had this whole very kind and loving way of just introducing her to the class. And she creates this amazing community in there.
I just cannot imagine a more positive
no,
story.
and then there's even more, I mean, this day don't end, and we'll probably forget a lot of them, but another thing is
Ooh,
worried
I have another one too.
worried about her own siblings. Like Ruby, who's her younger sister, is in kindergarten. One of my fears with that was that what if she's known as the kid in school with the retarded sister, or gets teased for that, or it's been the opposite. When I asked Ruby what it's like at school when you see Penelope, she's like, Penelope's everybody's best friend. She's like the most popular kid in the school. It's like we didn't expect that like, at all.
When I drop her off, I'm just like, okay, bye. I have no worry, nothing.
And if we drive by the school during recess, there's at least 2 kids that are pushing her on the swing, one behind, one in front. Like it's like we see that from the car, and we're like,
There's like a horde of girls,
right,
yeah, that
what is
follow
not
her.
here? Right, this isn't even.
Can you tell me about her aide? What happens? The class goes on normally and her aide sits with her and
So they have this fantastic schedule where if it's not her one-on-one aide, who's amazing and loves Penelope.
oh, she's
Penelope
pretty
gets to
lovable.
look in her mouth all day long. That's Penelope's favorite
Penelope's a
thing to
future
do.
dentist.
She goes like this. And she wants
Oh,
to look
that-
in your mouth. Bridget's like, that's right, let's go. Like,
Oh, her name is Bridget?
oh, yes it is.
How about that?
Wow, there aren't that many of them.
We didn't say
Well, now
Bridget.
they-
We said Bridget.
Bridget, okay.
Okay, so if it's not Bridget, then
She's
it's
also called with Pepsi is her middle and last name.
that's good.
That was good.
If it's not Bridget, then it's her special ed teacher, and then related service. So they kind of rotate throughout the day, but she is always with somebody. But it's always pushed into the class. And the whole team is very open to suggestions about how to include her, what they're doing well, what they're not doing well, which is amazing because it's almost like they've never done it before.
Yeah.
So they're willing to try anything. Friends, like I'm up at night making projects for Penelope because I know we're studying land masses and I want her to be able to,
Wow.
you know,
This added a spark
participate.
for everybody.
yes. And so now we sit down and have team meetings the last Friday of the month
Okay.
and everybody shows up. You know what I think is so cool? The people I love are the people that I see every day. I see Miss Yvonne, who sits at the front desk of the school, and she sits there, and then Miss Henry's the health clerk, and they're amazing. They're like, I saw your girl. I saw her today. She's doing awesome. I mean, they know. They see her all the time because she needs to be freshened up, you know, in the
Yes.
in the nurse's office. I just love that they're looking out for her, you know, and they can
Oh.
give me a little update when I walk in to drop something off or, you know, to come for pickup.
Yeah.
They're so great. Mr. Meredith, the custodian, is always in there making sure that the tables have been adjusted to the right height so she can get her wheelchair under her.
Oh my God.
So that when she goes to
It's
that back
unbelievable.
table. Oh my God. But academically, she's grown so much that I almost want to say to them, I don't think she can really do that.
I don't know what's happened, but she's a different child.
She really is. She's a different kid. It's so true.
The neatest part, which I never thought of, was forget the educational standpoint. At our other school, which is a great school, we love Park School, but the other students don't really interact as much with each other because they're all pretty profound and disabled. And at this school, they probably because we're starting at such a young age, but they attack her. They love her. If we have a play date, we find out that it has to be a secret because the other kids will be jealous that they didn't get a play date. And then you tell the heartwarming story of just lunch.
It's true.
This is amazing.
It's true. Okay, so like I was telling you before, they created this lunch group because she has like a working lunch on Mondays and Tuesdays.
So what that
the
means.
speech therapist will come into the classroom. So those days she doesn't go to the lunchroom. She stays in the classroom. And Ms. Collins, her teacher, decided that she would ask the girls if there are any girls that would like to stay in and eat lunch with Penelope. And she'll be doing this every week. And her expectations were that maybe a few girls would see it. Every single hand goes up. Every
Everyone
single one.
wants to stay with her for lunch.
Everybody wanted a turn
better.
to stay with her for lunch. So she was like, I have to create a schedule now. Like a rotating schedule. And she sets this whole thing up, and then the boys
Want to know why they weren't
said,
included?
Miss Collins, why don't we get a turn to eat lunch with Penelope?
I know, it kills you. That was
Fran
amazing.
was like, I
Yeah, the teacher tears
never
up. I mean, it's
thought of it. And they were like, well, we want a turn too. So now the girls go on Mondays and the boys go on Tuesdays. And they're hysterical. They all come in, the boys, and they're all sitting around. Penelope, we have the same juice box. Penelope, we have the same cheese stick. I mean, they're just...
Is she visibly excited by all this?
I think that's the change you're seeing. I think that the attention she's getting from other kids that know how to play more at her level,
Yeah.
and then an adult, I think that I think she's definitely likes it. I
Oh,
think she loves
I
it.
just think this is just the best story I've ever
No,
heard.
it's the
the
cutest
most
things.
hopeful thing I've heard in so long.
I'm telling
I
you.
have very rarely taken her to school, and when I do, I didn't think it would ever be an enjoyable thing just to drop someone off at school.
Yeah.
Because they meet outside, all the kids in her class come running because they want to take over. Like one wants the wheelchair, one wants the bag, one wants the walker. They want to do it, and they come running, and they want to know if it's cold outside. Is she wearing a bow today? What color is it? Like one day Penelope, unbeknownst to us, because she likes to always hold on to something, took the remote control to our TV, and we didn't know she took it all the way to school. And they all thought that was the coolest thing, and were convinced that the next day she'd bring the TV.
So, and then they get out at 3?
3:35.
Okay. I mean, does she come home just exhausted?
No, she never seems to get tired.
She is the Energizer Bunny.
Totally. She dances in her chair. But just like she is always happy. Always.
Yeah, I noticed.
Always happy.
It's wonderful.
Uh-huh.
Well, it could have something to do with who's raising her.
Oh, come on.
Come on, I think so.
But there was one day when she was really sad, and I heard from a bunch of parents that their kids were very concerned.
Why was you don't know what?
No, but they were all thinking it was because her aide was absent that day. But
Oh.
and Fran Collins told me they just couldn't focus. They were like, what is wrong with her? What can we do? Why is she crying? Let's help her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, nobody stares. Like, we don't have any more of those incidences where there's a kid staring at her because, oh my God.
That wouldn't have happened at the old school either.
If she was up in her neighborhood.
Right. In her
Yes.
Right.
It would. But now she's got 500 kids from Willard
It's unbelievable.
that know her. She's pretty recognizable, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the big lime green wheelchair. And they will now come up to her. Hey, Penelope, what's up? The Chinese New Year parade just jam packed with people.
In Chinatown?
Penelope!
Yeah, somebody recognized her.
Her classmate, PJ.
Oh, that's
Maggie,
awesome.
his mom, comes up to me and goes, Megan, oh my God. I was like, of course.
Oh,
Of course.
that's great. That's great.
So she wears bows every day. And Teresa, who's one of her classmates now, wears the bows
bow.
every day.
I didn't know that.
So that she can be like Penelope.
Or the parents will say, "Is that Penelope? We've heard all about Penelope." Like, we and that's a form of feeling welcome, and that happens
Sure.
in very
Oh yeah.
separate and different places.
The parents in her class will say, we hear about Penelope every single night.
Yeah,
Oh,
because the
I
kids come
know.
home and talk about
That's
it.
What Penelope did today. They're like, it's unending.
It's wonderful.
But
I
the
mean,
fear-
it's really what's supposed to happen in life.
Right, but
But
back to the fear
It's
factor.
been so fake.
It's just, yeah, there hasn't been the opportunity for it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you're the groundbreakers.
I think what we initially said, our expectations were really simple in the beginning. And I think that's a really good place to start because you can get totally overwhelmed with the idea of, okay, let's take her from this environment and just completely mainstream her. So we decided we're just going to hope that she's safe and happy. That's it.
And
Let's
then
just
everything
focus
else
on
is,
that for the
is-
first.
And I
month,
said
2
day
months.
one, if I ever get even the smallest vibe that she's uncomfortable and maybe would be more comfortable at her last school, we're done. And nothing like that's even crossed my mind since I've said that.
Are you feeling now like this is good for now, or do you anticipate what's down the road? Are you still afraid?
I do both. I love where we are now, but I'm still wondering if the next school can do it.
The next school, meaning junior high.
Oh, I'm thinking
Oh, no,
third
no,
grade.
yeah, third.
Third grade.
Or,
I
yeah.
think
Oh, you already
Fran
worried about third
comes-
grade?
Absolutely.
Because you're thinking the next teacher and the next situation and
Yes.
how will the kids grow with this?
Not
and-
so much the kids. Isn't that funny? I have no fear about the kids. None.
Okay.
None. I have a fear about being able to take the culture of what Fran has created and
Move it to third
and
grade.
move it.
So far, it's been beyond our expectations. Just simply beyond.
To follow up on how parents can kind of prioritize their expectations. It's not to say that the academics shouldn't be a huge focus, but I think if you kind of take it in chunks, it's easier to kind of digest the whole idea of fully including your child. Like, so that they're in the classroom no matter what is going on, because they will make the right accommodations so that she is participating at whatever level that she can participate at.
It's wonderful.
He's so cool.
Well, he is.
So let's fast forward here. What do you want for Penelope? What's the baseline that you really want?
People to receive her, love her for who she is, and not to be scared of her.
I think and learn how to approach her, because she's not going to interact the same way that we interact. And I think they so badly want to connect in that same way. And so they'll follow her around in her line of sight. She's not going to acknowledge you that way, right? So that's what I want. It's for them to learn how to interact.
And is that, how do you see that happening in life? Is that school? Is that playgrounds? Is that
It's
awareness? What
other
is it?
people getting out there that have things that people aren't used to seeing. I mean, in our parents' generation, no one ever saw anyone take. We rarely see it. We had never seen it before. But there's thousands of people out there like that.
Are you aware that people like Penelope used to be institutionalized and sort of thrown away?
Absolutely.
Okay. Could you imagine that today? I mean, is
No,
that
but I will say that it takes a lot of work. A lot. And it's heartbreaking. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, sometimes I could see where you want to give up. But not that I would, but it's tremendous. It's every single day. Yeah, so it helps to have support.
Yeah.